Okay, so I'm gonna share a story with y'all. If y'all ever seen the show on Netflix, The Worst Roommate Ever, I could relate. I've been there, and I'm gonna break down the story that I had for my worst roommate ever.
To the top is where I'm aiming, y'all. Get your life, bruh. Get your life, bruh. Get your life, bruh. Get your life, bruh. Okay, there ain't no way that you can stop me. Okay, I be up on my grizzly, so go ahead and miss me completely. Y'all so lame, and though I'm really not complaining, I'm flattered by the chatted. To the top is where I'm aiming, y'all. Get your life.
Hey, what's good, guys? Yo, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chris on the gram. First and foremost, shout out to all my subscribers. Y'all did that, bruh. We at 7K. I appreciate it. Yo, let's run it up. Let's get it up to 8K. And if you watched my last live, I'm doing a 10K Gucci giveaway where I'm giving away some official ass Gucci glasses. And I'll explain more about it. But yeah, once we get to 10K, I'm going to give that away. If you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button. I'm hit you with reactions to all your favorite hip hop, R&B, pop artists, new school, old school, everybody. It goes down here. I might drop an interview. We might do a story time like we're going to do now. And everything else goes down on the channel. Make sure you follow me on my social media, guys. The links are in my description. And check out my music. It's on my channel. It's on my IG and my Reels. Okay, so let's get into this story, bruh. Like I said, if you watch The Worst Roommate Ever on Netflix, I'm going to give you that type of vibe. This is my first time talking about it, like publicly on camera since it happened. But we're going to pick up to where we kind of met, how we became friends and stuff, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so this story takes place around like 2010, 2011, somewhere like that. I was still kind of new to Atlanta. I moved here in like 2005, and that's a whole story in itself. So I used to work at this hospital, and I think I was still new working there. And I remember I had to be there super early at like 5 in the morning. And at that point, I was like staying in different, I was like rooming, like, what do you call, like renting a room like week to week and stuff from people, because I was still new to Atlanta. I didn't know my way around, and I was still young with it, trying to make it on my own. You know what I mean? I didn't have no family here or nothing like that, so I was just doing it on my own. So it was like I had to be at the job at like 5 in the morning, and I didn't have a car, and it was super hard to get there. Before MARTA it was Breeze. It used to be just MARTA. I used to have to get up super early, walk to the train station from where I was staying at that point, take a train and then a bus to get to work. It was like super early. Sometimes I have to take a bus to the train station just to get to work, or sometimes I would like leave that night before and sleep at work. You know what I'm saying? So I could be there on time. It was crazy, guys. But when you gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? You gotta support yourself. You gotta make a living. Sometimes, like, I would sleep on the train in the morning on the way to work, and everybody does that. You know, like once you been on a train, you know the stops in your head. You count the stops, and you wake up and you know where you at. So I would get on the train to get to work to make it on time. And it was this boy that was on the train too around the same time. And we would see each other, and he would be asleep, or I would be asleep, and he might wake me up and be like, "Yo, that's your stop," or I might wake him up and be like, "Yo, that's your stop." And so we was just cool off that. Like every time I see him, be like, "Yo, what up, bro? What's good?" And I'm not gonna say his bro name, but he went by the name of Brando. We kind of became cool. Like one day we just like, "Yo, what's good? You smoke?" You know what I'm saying? You know how like that's how people in the hood kind of try to talk to or try to be friends with you. Be like, "Yo, you smoke? Let's get up and smoke a blunt or something." So that's how we kind of became friends. He's from the state of Washington. Oh no, he was from Oregon. And I was like, okay, never knew anybody from the West Coast like that. I'm from Connecticut, New York, moved to Atlanta. I've been here for a long time though. Come to find out, we had a lot of things in common, like music and stuff like that. And he got down too. It was never a sexual thing with us. We never did nothing. It was just strictly friends. And I was like, yo, I'm new to the city, so I'm just want to be friends, you know what I mean, and just like build a foundation off of that. So we became cool. I later found out that his favorite artist was Foxy Brown, which I love Foxy too, but I'm like a huge Little Kim fan. So it's like already we had our rivals, you know what I mean? Like Foxy Brown, Little Kim fan, and we would always go back and forth like, oh, she got the best song. No, she got the best song. And we would do battles like that. Before there was a versus, we had our own verses. So that was something too. And we're both Geminis. I'm a June Gemini, he's a May Gemini. So, that kind of like broke the ice. It was like, oh, okay. And we had stuff in common, and he would get up early because he was like a baker. He worked at this little bakery, and I think it was like Gwinnett County somewhere. So that's why he was getting up early, catching the train. And I was doing catering, like I said, for a hospital. So I had to be there super early. So that's how we met on the train. And we just became cool. I think we exchanged numbers, and I don't remember us really talking on the phone like that, because we seen each other almost every day. So we'd be like, "Yo, what's good with you?" or "What you doing after work?" I think that's how it started. Like, and then I would come over and smoke, and I was like always go by his place and smoke. And he stayed at the Kensington Station Apartments. If y'all know, Kensington Station is a MARTA station. There's like these apartments right across the street from there. It's in Decatur, like 20 minutes from Metro Atlanta per se, from like downtown. So as we became cool, like I noticed he didn't really have too many friends that he chilled with. He didn't really go out like that. He was kind of like a homebody. He would stay home and like cook and be jamming to his music and Foxy Brown and like the old school stuff. You know what I mean? He was just like a low key person. I was like, okay, well, maybe he's cool. Like I don't like I kind of like chilling with people that's low key, that's not out there like that and wilding and being reckless and acting crazy. You know what I mean? We started becoming real close, whatever. And that's when I met his friend Wayne that lived in the same complex, Kensington Station. He stayed almost like in the middle. There used to be like this little store, this little Chinese store in Kensington Station. You would go in there and get like a cigarette or a bag of chips and the juice. You know what I mean? Like a little hood store inside the complex. And Brando stayed right next to the store kind of, and Wayne stayed like he stayed in the front. So like right before you got into the gate, you was there. And if y'all know about Kensington Station, it was best if you stayed closer to the front because it used to be wild back in the day, like shootings every day. Um like people was getting robbed. It was kind of wild out there or whatever. But I know nobody bothered me, you know what I mean? Like, cause I'm kind of from the hood. I know how to move and wash my back and stuff like that. And like I would go there and buy weed from somebody because like I knew Brando there, so I was like, oh, I'm a slide through, since I know somebody there, and wind up, being cool with the weed man, and you know what I mean, stuff like that, building connection with people that was in there. So I would always stop through, catch the train, go to Kensington Station, hang out, you know what I mean, with Brando, and then met his friend Wayne. I think they were cool. I'm not sure if they were like best friends at that point, but I know they were like super cool, whatever. So as the months passed, me and Brando became cool, and I was like still renting rooms and trying to establish my footing in Atlanta. And I was like, he had like a two-bedroom apartment, and I was like, yo, I think then I want to say I had like a part time job somewhere, but I didn't have like a full time job. I was still looking for a job or something like that. And I didn't like where I was staying. So I was like, yo, you got an extra room. And I can't remember who suggested what, but he was like, you can stay with me. I have an extra bedroom. But, I was like, well, I'll definitely give you some money every week or whatever I can do to chip in because that's not like me. If I'm staying with somebody or whatever, I'm definitely going to be contributing to households and making sure you got some money for some bills or something or have to rent, whatever. You know what I mean? So eventually I moved in with him, and everything was good. I was still getting up every day looking for a job, and I did find a job. Some is this place in Kennesaw somewhere, like a customer service type gig, but it took forever to get there. I would have to, like I said, I would take the train from Kensington Station to Art Center Station, jump on the Cobb County Transit to get to the place, and then I would have to like take another bus from the transit to get to the place. So it took me like almost 2 or 3 hours just to get to work. But that's what you had to do. Like there was no Ubers back then. It wasn't like, you know what I mean, how stuff is now. So you just had to do what you had to do. And I didn't have a car. I think my license was suspended at the time. So, coming from Connecticut, New York, I'm just like, I was all messed up because I was still like a young, wild kind of kid, you know what I mean? Like still trying to find my footing. And but I still did what I had to do because shit, you gotta eat, you know what I mean? You gotta live. And everything was cool. Like I said, like I didn't see any red flags per se while I was living with him at the beginning. Like I said, he was kind of like a loner dude. He had his friend Wayne that lived up the street, whatever. So while I was at the hospital, I bought a laptop. It was like a Dell computer, back in the day. And I remember like that was like my worldly possession. I didn't really have shit. That was like the thing, like, that's when people like were just being online, and it was still Vine, MySpace. I think Facebook was just like starting and stuff. It was like 2010, 2011, something like that. And so that was like my way outside of the world to talk to my family online, back home and whatever, whatever. So when I would leave, and that was the way like I would kind of be dating too. If you know like BGC, A for A, if you know, it was like, a Tinder, Jacked, stuff like that back in the day before the apps were the apps. You would go online and that's how you would kind of meet people. You know what I mean? So while I was, so he would like to get on my computer when I was gone or whatever. When I was there, I'd be like, yeah, you could use it. Like you my homie, you know what I mean? I know you want to meet people and do whatever. So yeah, you could use my computer. It was nothing. So he would use my computer. And like I said, I've never seen any red flags. I remember this one guy coming over, and I'm not really sure like what their connection was per se. I know like he was on like a dating line, a telephone line. If y'all know, y'all know. Back then, like before the computers, we had like a telephone line where you would like record a message and whatever, you know what I mean? Introduce yourself and you will get a message and stuff like that. But he met this guy that was so-called straight, I guess, but he would like sometimes I guess pay people to do sexual favors from what I'm remembering hearing from other people on how he met him, but that was his business, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you do you, like that's what you do, you know what I mean? That's not me, whatever. And we never messed around. We were strictly friends, so like you do you. Okay. So anyway, Lil homie was super cool though. He was a little bit younger than us, maybe like 21, 22, something like that. I don't know. And but he would like always come around, be smoking with us. It was like eventually became me, Brando. I forgot what the friend name was. Him, um, like I said, Wayne, and his other friend. I forgot what that dude's name was. Um, it's not Kenny. It was something, but he was crazy too. He was this light skinned kid that worked for the airport. So I'm still, everything is kind of going good. I got found me a job, whatever. I still have a little part time honey bake cam job, so I'm working like two jobs or whatever. And I'm going to work. He's going to work, whatever. And I remember I was coming home one time. It's Kensington Station. It was like maybe at like 11 at night or something. And I've been through the hood. I stayed in Bankhead before I moved there. And like I lived through the hood. Like it's nothing new to me. You know what I mean? But that day, I guess I was just off my shit. I don't know. Anyway, I'm walking home. It was like three like young kids behind me. And they wound up jumping me for some reason or try to rob me. I don't know what it was because they didn't get nothing from me. Like they tried to steal, I guess, steal my wallet, and I still have my wallet with me and everything. So I don't know what that was about. But I think they did take my phone. If I'm not mistaken, they did take my phone because I couldn't find my phone. But anyway, so yeah, I was like walking down the hill, and like these dudes like ambushed me and jumped me and shit. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, and I'm like, it kind of happened near the house, near the store, in between the store and his house. I was literally like 500 feet from there. So I'm like, yo, loud as fuck. And meanwhile, it's like 11 at night. It's quiet. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Y'all niggas trying to jump me and shit. I'm loud as fuck. And I'm like, okay. So after that happened, I ran upstairs to the house. I was like banging on the door, like, yo, Brando, come out. These niggas trying to jump me and shit. He didn't even answer the door, nothing. Like he didn't even come to the door and try to help me. You know what I mean? I'm like, you supposed to be my boy. At that point, I known you for like a year or two, and I'm just like, damn, I'm staying with you. I would think that you will have my back. You know what I mean? Whatever. And I know you hear me because you can hear through them thin ass walls and shit, and through the windows. And I was like, yo, these niggas had jumped me and shit, bro. Like, come outside. Like, what the fuck? So this nigga didn't come out. So I got me a butcher knife. I remember, and I grabbed the knife and I ran downstairs and shit. And I was just like trying to find them niggas. Like, yo, y'all think y'all gonna fucking jump me? Like back then, I was kind of wild and shit and reckless, and just didn't think about the consequences. But I was gonna stab somebody to fuck up. Like somebody was getting fucking stabbed in the neck that night. I don't give a fuck how old you was, young kids, what y'all was doing or what. And so that happened. I never wound up finding them. Somebody called the police and they was like, I guess they seen a crazy man with a knife walking around the neighborhood. And I was just like, damn, like that's like never fucking happened as long as I've been in the hood. But shit happens, you know what I mean? You just deal with it and move on, you know what I mean? So the next day night, I came down there though. I was like, I had me like something in my hand. I think I bought like a beer, an 18-ounce bottle, and I'm just walking with that shit. Like, I wish a motherfucker would try me this time. Somebody getting knocked the fuck out and stabbed up in their face, like, so nothing happened, whatever. But it was crazy because it's like, damn, my boy was like right there, never came to the door, nothing. And like the next day, he was like, "Oh, I didn't hear nothing." I'm like, "Use a fucking lie, bro." Like, okay. So I don't know what it was, but I don't know if he like orchestrated for me to get jumped from these niggas. That just came in my head because I'm just like, all the times I've been walking through there, nothing like that happened. So I don't know what that was all about, or if he had something to do with it. But okay. Yeah, so me and Wayne started being cool, and I guess he didn't like that, whatever. I don't know. Something happened with Brando's job where I don't know if they were like going out of business or something was happening. I don't know. Or Brando was feeling some kind of way or something. But he wind up wanted to move back home to Oregon. And I'm like, damn, like, what the hell I'm gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Because I moved in with you, I still didn't really have a foundation where like a steady job where I can actually get my own apartment. And back then, like 2010, 11, in Kensington Station, they used to, like rent was super cheap. Like they had like it was like 500, 550 a month. Super cheap. Like you would move in with the move-in special, get 1 month free and whatever. Now, it wasn't the best apartments, you know what I mean? Of course, it was like some roaches and, it's kind of hood with it, but it wasn't terrible, terrible. The train station was right across the street, whatever, but it was kind of hood with it. You get what you pay for. But I still didn't have, I wasn't still like that established to get my own place just yet. So I was like, damn, like what I'm gonna do, bro? Like my money didn't come in. I was still waiting on my little settlement, whatever. And I was like, fuck, like he was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna be moving. So you could either take the apartment over or, you know, this the last, well, I'm here for a few more months and you have to find somewhere to go. I'm just like, damn. So Wayne was like, well, yo, I got a 2 bedroom, we cool. I know you working and stuff. You can stay with me. So I was like, okay, bet. That's what's up. So by the time he moved and went back to Oregon, I moved in with Wayne, up the hill, near the fence, at the front of the apartments, and everything was going real good, yo. It was sad to see Brando leave, because that was my homie. Like we built a great friendship these past few years. And he was just like almost like he wasn't, I think we were the same age. If he now was like a year older than me, if that, I can't remember. But so I was like always appreciate him, like, bro, thanks for looking out for me, whatever happens to, you decide in your life, good luck and everything like that. But I'm not going nowhere. I'm staying in Atlanta. He left. And I don't know if it was like maybe a year or maybe 6 months to a year. I can't remember. He decided he wanted to come back to Atlanta. And I'm like, okay, like, and we were still communicating, talking on the phone and shit, like every now and then while he was up there, like, yo, what's been going on in Atlanta? I'm like, you ain't missing shit. Same shit. You know what I mean? But he was home. He was like, ah, it's so boring out here. And, it's slow. I miss Atlanta, this and that. I'm just like, seems like I think I'm going to come back to Atlanta. I was like, okay, yeah, come back, bro. Like, of course, like I said, I'm staying with Wayne now in the same place, but you can stay with us until you get back on your feet. Like you looked out for me, I'm gonna look out for you. You can stay in the living room, whatever, and but you just got to be trying to do what you got to do. Like you got to try to find a job and do your thing. You know what I mean? While you're here, but we got you. You know what I mean? So he ended up coming back to Atlanta, moving in with us, and everything was going good. He was like cooking for us and shit like every night and doing his thing. He was like, "Yo, could I use your computer while you at work? Whatever, sure. Get on it." I know he's up there to meet people and do whatever, you know what I mean, hook up or who knows. That's his thing. But I'm just like, long as you out there looking for a job every day, like we grown ass men, then you good. Like handle your business. But for some reason, like, we will go to work and he would not be looking for a job and not doing his thing. And I'm like, okay, it's been a few weeks. Like, you're not doing nothing. Like, okay, you taking out the trash, you cooking and doing stuff around the house, but that's not paying the bills neither. You know what I mean? When you got a grown person just in your crib, you like, hold up, bruh, hold up. After a month or two, we had a talk with him, like, yo, bro, you are a good friend, but you got to be leaving every day doing something, like trying to find a job. Oh, I'm trying to find a job online, and which was you could do that too. Like everything wasn't online back then, though. Like they might refer you to a website, but still, you had to like go in person and do something. Even if you found some places, you still had to go there and show your face. So, or go and actually fill out a paper application. So he was like, I'm trying. And I'm just like, okay, bro. Like, well, we just letting you know, like, we seeing you here like all day and you're not doing nothing. Like, I left at a certain time, he would still be there. And I think by then I was working at Whole Foods. I wound up finding a secure job at Whole Foods by the time he was back in Oregon. So I was working at Whole Foods and so my schedule fluctuated. I might go to work at 10 in the morning, I might go at 2 and close. So I would be there. Like if you there at the house, I would know, you know what I'm saying? Cause you just at the house not doing nothing. And you'd be there smoking weed and I'd be like, yo, and I'd be like, yo, I got you because you got me when I didn't have nothing. You would smoke me out all the time. So I'm gonna smoke you out. You know what I mean? I try to be there. So we just noticed he wasn't on his shit, and we like, yo, it's fun to have everybody here. His homie that he met on the line, the straight dude, whatever, he would come by a lot. We would all smoke. Him and King, that's his name, the other boy, not Kenny, it was King. We called him King. I forgot his real name, but he had a twin brother and shit. He was just real reckless and crazy himself. So he would come over, and then his other friend, will come over every now and then. His name was Drew, I think. Short, dark skinned dude. Anyway, so things started to get weird a little bit. Like we noticed like Brando was just more like trying to staying to himself. Not really when everybody would come over and we smoke, he would kind of stay by himself and be like feeling some kind of way, like, oh, I didn't chip in, so I'm not gonna smoke today or whatever. We noticed that he didn't feel like cooking some days, and which is fine, you know what I mean. Or he would leave in the morning just to get out the house so he didn't have to hear our mouth. You know what I mean? I don't know what he was doing. But Yeah, he felt some kind of way. You could tell. I remember one time I came home and it was like, when it gets dark earlier and this nigga, I walked in the house and it was like pitch black in there. He was just sitting somewhere in the corner, no lights on, no nothing, in the dark. And I'm like, nigga, what's good? Why you sitting here in the dark? He's like, I'm trying to save on electricity since, it's just me here. I'm like, save on electricity? Like, what the hell? You sitting here looking like a whole demon, looking crazy as hell. So that was like a red flag. I was like, okay. And me and Wayne would be like, yo, what's good? Because he acting real strange and stuff, and he still hasn't found a job, and he's still like not really getting up every day like he should be. So one day we got a phone call from him saying, yo, meet me at the Olive Garden. I found a job and I want to celebrate with you guys. I'm gonna take y'all out for dinner and this and that. So I was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. So I think Wayne picked me up from my job from Whole Foods and we went there. I think it was like the Taco Mac area near Claremont. If y'all know, y'all know. And we went down there and he wasn't there. So we sit in the car. We like, yo, oh, I'll be there in a minute. I'll be there in a minute. I'm like, okay. Well, where the hell you at? You know what I mean? So we just sitting there. And then we called him again. It's like, didn't answer the phone. So he was like, okay, you had us meet you here. We like 20 minutes from the house and you not even here. So we waited still like for another 10 minutes. He didn't pick up his phone, whatever. So it's like, we're going back to the house. What the hell? So we get back to the crib, right? We noticed the door was open. And I'm just like, okay, we didn't leave, but the door open. What is going on? We noticed that some stuff was stolen in the house. We noticed some stuff was damaged in the house. I go, Wayne immediately noticed that his Xbox was stolen, I believe. And I go into my room and immediately noticed that my laptop was trashed. Like this nigga put super glue all over the screen, inside the ports where you connect your cables and stuff, and just destroyed it. Like totally destroyed it. Put water on it and everything. Left a puddle of water on it. Wrote on my mirror like, "You'll never be nothing. You'll never make it in this city. Blah blah blah. You're gonna be like your dad," because my dad's like was on crack and whatever. He was like doing real bad. You're gonna be a crackhead when you get older, and your mother is nothing. You know what I mean? Just went crazy. Stole a lot of my shit. So I was pissed, yo. I was like, what the fuck? Like, damn, we was cool. Like, if you felt some kind of way or didn't like me or whatever, you should have been like, yo, Chris, like, nigga, fuck you, bitch. I'll find a job when I find a job, nigga. Fuck you. I don't care. You know what I mean? I'm not cool with you like that. And I would have been like, okay, well, I get it. You know what I mean? Well, I felt like you could have talked to me because we was cool. You didn't have to fucking come in and steal my shit and smash my shit up. Like, who does that, nigga? Like, fucking at least try to fight me. Shit, be like, nigga, I don't like you no more. Let's go outside. You know what I mean? So, and it's crazy too because before I found out that happened, like maybe the day before that happened, he was like, "Yo, we was at the crib. Wayne wasn't there." He was like, "Yo, I think he had the day off or something." He was like, "Yo, come outside. We finna smoke a blunt, whatever." And I was like, "Oh, you out there with somebody?" You know what I mean? I was just like, normally we would go to the patio and smoke, right? You know, where the living room is, open the door, smoke out in the back. So I was like, "Well, that's weird. You want me to smoke out in the front with you?" And something just told me like, "Nah, don't go out there." And he was with somebody I didn't know, whatever. And I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm not smoking today. I'm not feeling good or something." But it was like an instinct inside me, like, "Yo, I feel like they was gonna try to do something to me, like shoot me or kill me or something." I felt like it was really that serious. I feel like something was going to happen if I would have went outside. Like, I don't know, bro. It's something that where your instincts be telling you like don't do it. It was I had a gut feeling saying don't go outside. Don't go outside. For real. And I didn't go out there. And like I said, the day after, that's when that happened. So I'm pissed off, bro. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this nigga did that. He fucking broke my shit, stole my shit, whatever. And so I called the police, of course, to file a report. You know what I mean? Because you're not gonna get away with that shit. Like, and you did it like trying to lower me somewhere and then do this shit while we gone, like, you know what I mean, to your homies. And like, I was like, damn. And I was like, I'm gonna find this nigga. Like, and still, so I had his mother's number, grandma's number, because we were real like good friends, you know what I mean? So it's like, nigga, I'm gonna find you. If you in Atlanta somewhere, and I called his mom's like, look, this is Chris from Atlanta. I want to let you know about your son, Brando. He stayed with me and he like robbed me, whatever, and stole my stuff and left, and I don't know where he is, but just let him know that we're looking for him. There's a police report out there for him. And she was just like shocked, like, because he actually comes from a good family. He's not even from the hood like that. You know what I mean? Like, he comes from a family that has like owned a house before, lived on land. You know what I mean? Like, this nigga really never had a struggle like that, like I did, or really had to go through things. He could always go back home and live a good fucking life and not worry about shit. I couldn't really go back home because shit was fucked up. Like, I was in Job Corps before I came there and got kicked out of Job Corps. That's why I moved to Atlanta. You know what I mean? That's a story in itself. So this nigga, like, I was like pissed as fuck. I was like, yo, he didn't have too many friends, so I couldn't like really find out where he was per se. So I was just like, fuck that shit. Like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna call his mom, his grandmom. So that's what I did. I called everybody that I knew, his phone that he gave me, and called them and told them what happened. Like, your son is a deadbeat, and if I see him, he getting punched in the face. We dragging him, and yeah. That's what it is right now. So just so y'all know, let him know that don't ever come back to Atlanta because nigga, I'm looking for you. You ain't gonna do that shit and think it's gonna be sweet. You know what I mean? So fast forward. I don't even know how many months later, maybe 4 months or so. I can't remember. So I was online on BGC and I would go online, but I would have like a fake profile picture or it'd be like a body picture or something. You know what I mean? Like, so I remember I was up there and I get a message from somebody. And you won't believe who I got a message from. It was from Brando. I said, "Oh, word." And I can't remember. I don't think he had a profile picture up there either. I think he was like, yo, let's trade pictures, whatever. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool. So he sent me a picture first, and it was him. And I was like, ain't this some shit? What? Okay. So I sent him a picture, of course, somebody fake, whatever. I just Googled offline. And he was like, yeah, so we talking and shit. I'm like, oh, what's good, yo? Like tell me about yourself. Like I knew who he was, but I'm still gonna act like I don't know. He's like, yeah, I just moved down here from Houston like maybe a day ago or this past weekend. I was like, oh, from Houston. Oh, okay. He was like, yeah, I just moved out there, had to get away real quick, but I'm back in the city and trying to see what's up with you. Let's get up and smoke and shit. So I was like, oh, word, okay. So like I found out that, he went to Houston to go stay with a friend or something like that for a few months until everything blew over. And his homeboy Drew, he was staying with him or whatever. And I was mad at Drew because we was kind of cool with it. And I'm just like, oh, word. So you gonna like have this nigga staying with you and shit after like everything he did, what went down. You couldn't be like, yo, I can't fuck with you just off the strength of how on what you did with Chris and Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't cool, so I'm not gonna fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? You would think that people would be like, because that person could do the same thing to you. You could be gone and they would fucking rob you too. You know what I mean? Like you can't trust everybody like that. So yeah, so he was like, "Yeah, I'm staying with my friend Drew, and yo, come meet me." He was like, "You ain't crazy, right?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not crazy." He was like, "Yeah, because I'm crazy." He was like, "Trust me." He was like, "If crazy something goes down, I don't give a fuck, and I do what I do." You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Oh, he think he crazy? Okay, yeah, bitch, I'm gonna show you crazy." He told me where he stayed at and shit. It was in Doraville somewhere. So we drove. So I was like, "Yo." I called Wayne. I was like, "Yo, nigga, guess what? Guess who hit me up? Guess who's back in town? Fucking Brando and shit." And I was like, he was like, "Word." I was like, "Yeah, this nigga fucking." I told him the story. Got me online. Don't know it's me. And back then, I was like real reckless. I'm just like, I was like a loose cannon. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, bro, I didn't have nothing really to lose. You know what I mean? I was like, nah, fuck that shit. I was like, this nigga want to go on and do what he did, and then try to leave and shit and think shit is sweet and come back like ain't nothing. Like, nah, we not playing that. So I was like, yo, I called my boy. So Wayne, I was like, yo, I'm gonna take my car. Let's go meet this nigga. Let's go get some baseball bats and fuck this nigga up. I want to jump this nigga. I want to drag this nigga. I want to fuck him up bad because what you did was like some bitch shit for real. I called my boy Wayne and my homeboy D. I'm gonna just call him D. He's like my best friend, and we still best friends too. Me and Wayne, we fell out a few years ago over some dumb shit. But if you see this Wayne or whatever, it's all good with me. We didn't go through nothing too crazy. We just had a misunderstanding on some shit. But if the love is still there and you see this video or whatever, holla at me and let's go to lunch or some shit. So anyway, yeah, I told him the story. I was like, yo, let's go drive this nigga, meet this nigga, and drag this nigga and fuck this nigga up. So we get up there and I'm like, yeah, I'm here. Come, meet me outside. Let's whatever. Or, let me go upstairs, whatever. He's like, no, I'm gonna come meet you first just to make sure you look like your picture, this and that. And so while I was downstairs, I guess the property manager or somebody in the office has seen us like just there waiting, you know what I'm saying? And they came over and was like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? It was like, do you guys live here, whatever? And I'm just like, no. I said, well, no. I said, you got somebody here that has a warrant for his arrest, and I'm here to fuck this nigga up. Pretty much. I was just so pissed at that point. I know how to talk to people. I was like, no, I'm here to fight this nigga. He was like, oh, it's not gonna be none of that over here. And by that time, he still didn't come outside just yet. And he was like, "Oh, we're not going to have that here. We're going to have to call the police on you." I was like, "Call the police on us?" I was like, "No, there's somebody here with a warrant for them." I was like, he's like, "Well, we're going to have to call the police because we can't have that here in front of our apartment." So I was like, "I get it," you know what I'm saying? But so I was like, "Okay, okay." So I said, "Well, I said he's getting arrested either way or the other," you know. He's like, my boy's like, "Yeah, Chris, man, you gotta do it the right way. We can't just fuck this nigga up like that, you know, when there's cameras out here and stuff." Like, I was like, "Yeah, you're right." You know, they see my car and all that shit. The property manager got in on it. He was like, "Well, what we'll do, we'll call the police. You call him down here and we'll just arrest him when he gets here." So it turned to dark a little bit and he called me and was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm downstairs. You finally ready to come downstairs?" Like, "Yeah." So meanwhile, the police is there waiting too. They like in the cut. So when he gets down there, um, I think D went up to him and shit. It was like, "Yo, what up?" You know, started talking to him. Then all of a sudden the police came out of like nowhere and arrested his ass, yo, right fucking there. And then I came from like the side, like, "Oh yeah, we got you now, nigga. You thought it was sweet and shit. We thought it was fucking sweet." And the property manager was like, "Okay, you guys need to go get out of here because we don't allow all that stuff around here." So whatever. Nigga got arrested right there, bro. Right there. Fucking took his mugshot and everything. So he got arrested. And I think like he got out like the weekend after the weekend or something. Can't remember the case may be, but there was a whole he had a whole bookend photo and all that stuff when he went there at the DeKalb County Jail, because it happened in DeKalb County. And I wasn't satisfied enough. I was like, I still want to fuck this nigga up, like point blank, period. Like, and it was like, you gotta do it the right way. You know, the police is telling me and my boys, it was like, "Yo, just he's arrested, so now you gotta take him to small claims court to try to get your money back for the damage that he caused." So I was like, okay, let me do that. Like, but it's still like, you're not gonna be in this city, and every time I see you, I'm popping off on you, period. So I felt a little better though that he got arrested and shit. So he got arrested looking stupid as fuck. Came down here trying to meet somebody. Fucking like you really out here trying to meet somebody after you did some dirt to somebody? Like, are you dumb? Like, and don't you know karma comes right back to you? Like, stupid. So we actually wound up. I took him to court, and I remember going there, and I was mad as fuck. Like he was, they called us to the thing, and he was like right in the stands, like where we were, and I had to like walk past them, and I wanted to punch that nigga in the face so bad, like right there, because that was the first time me actually seeing his face since the arresting thing, which I barely really seen him because they took him away so fast. But since like really him staying with us, and I just wanted to fucking just rush that nigga, yo, and just fucking knock that nigga out. So I seen him there. They ultimately he had to pay me back like $400 or $500 for the laptop, and so that would happen, and that was it. The case was settled, whatever. But a nigga like me, I'm like, yo, every time I fucking see you, I'm going in on you. I don't give a fuck where you at. Like, and I'm not the biggest, baddest nigga, especially back then. I didn't even really work out like that. You know, I was like this skinny dude, you know what I mean, with dreads, grill, and like on some real shit, like I've been into a few fights, I've lost a few fights, I've won a bunch of fights, but a nigga like me, I'm gonna fight you. And if I win or lose, I don't give a fuck, nigga. Just know that I'm coming for your neck, and every time I see you, we're gonna fight. I don't give a fuck where we at, what we doing, what's going on, nigga. The way you did me then, like robbed my shit and said all that shit about my mother and all that shit, nah, nigga, it's war forever. When I see you, we beefing forever. In the words of Cardi B. So it's crazy because like some friends will call me and be like, "Yo, I seen that nigga Brando. He was out somewhere like in front of Kroger or supermarket, and he looked kind of bad, yo. Like I don't know if he got anywhere to stay or what's going on with him." I'm just like, I don't give a fuck, like, you know what I mean? But I was like, where he at again, nigga? So I could pull up in that bitch and knock this nigga the fuck out. Like I said, I don't want you anywhere in Atlanta, anywhere in the city, nigga. I'm gonna fight you, or don't let me bump into you. So they was like, yeah, but he looked bad, like he looked like a bum. I'm just like, oh well, what goes around comes around, nigga. And none of our circle of friends fucked with him then either, too. They was like, yo, what he did and shit. They was like, nah, Chris, nah, we just not gonna fuck with him. And at that time, I'm like kind of coming up now. I've been at my job for a few years with Whole Foods, and I'm doing good. It got me a little car, and you know what I mean. I'm doing good. You know what I mean. So I remember one time I would relocated to Sandy Springs, Whole Foods, and worked out there for a while. And there's a CVS that was on the corner, maybe a block or two up. I'm not sure if it's still there anymore. So I walk into the CVS, and guess who the fuck I see working behind the CVS thing? This nigga Brando. When I tell you I went the fuck off, I was like, hold the fuck up. You mean to tell me this nigga out here working out here? Nigga, I was like, you know that this nigga robbed me? And I said, you got somebody working here that fucking rob people and shit? And I was going in, I was like, yo, look this nigga history up. I said, nigga, come the fuck around from that counter, bitch. I want to fucking fight you right now, nigga. Let's go. This nigga would not come around the corner. And, you know, white people, they looking like, oh my God, like, what's going on? Oh my God. I'm like, yes, this nigga right here, his name is, I'm saying his government name is, yup, this is him. And this what happened on the day of such and such. I was like, tell this bitch ass nigga to get over the counter and fucking fight me, bitch. It's never over with us. Like, I don't give a fuck. Why are you still working here? Why are you working here, nigga? I said, no, you don't need this fucking job. And I'm just like knocking shit off. And then I had to call Wayne, like, yo, Wayne, yo, this bitch ass nigga's in this store. And I'm like having a conversation while I'm in the store. Like, meanwhile, I got to get to work. You know what I'm saying? But I just can't even think and function because I'm like, nah. He's like, Chris, just fucking get your ass out that store and go to work. Like, leave this nigga alone. I was like, nah, fuck that. Like, nah, I still want to fucking fight this nigga. I don't give a fuck. He would not come across that counter for shit. He will not come across that counter. I said, nigga, you here tomorrow, bitch? I'll be here tomorrow and I'm gonna fucking cuss you the fuck out, bitch. I don't give a fuck. Every time I see you, nigga, it's on and popping. So crazy part is I don't know what happened or with his manager or whatever, but he wasn't there the next day. That nigga wasn't there at all. And I don't know. Like I said, I was like, every time I see you, it's on and fucking popping every fucking time. So from there, maybe that was like 2012, 13 or something like that. I didn't see him since. Last thing I heard, he moved back to Oregon, where the fuck he was from, and that was that. Like, because like we used to go clubbing and shit. We used to go hang out, go eating everywhere. So I'm already through the city, up and down the city. I'm outside. I'm out the fuck side. And I know that you don't got a lot of friends like that. You a bum ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? And you not even about this life. You know what I mean? Like you did what you did, but trust me, I'll never fucking forget that shit. So since then, I never seen that nigga, and that was some years ago, and that's it. So since then, I vowed like I would never ever have a roommate, and I think since then, me and Wayne still became roommates, and we moved in somewhere else together too. And I just decided it was time for me to like man up, and I bought a house and did my own thing. But yeah, after that, I said never fucking ever again will I be roommates with people, especially like when you really don't know somebody and people being jealous of you for it could be any reason. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, there's no reason to be jealous of me. I'm still like trying to make a name for myself and do what I gotta do. Like it was always weird to me. Like, but looking back, I could see some red flags and just like the unloyalty of it all and you know, watch the company you keep type of shit. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's been what 15 years now, 10, 15 years and shit. So it's whatever now. You know what I mean? Hope you're having a good life doing you. Like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? When I see you, live your life. I don't care. I'm not even on that time no more. But just know that whatever happened is never forgotten. Karma always comes around. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it may not be a year from now, but eventually it will. And you will always get yours in return. That's big facts. So that's my story of the worst roommate ever. And if you stay for this whole story, I appreciate it, guys. Make sure you like the video, comment. Have you ever had a worst roommate situation, or do you have a roommate now that you're not feeling, and whatever? Yeah, let me know. Like the video, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. It's your boy Chris on the gram. I'll be back with another video.